Hi everybody, welcome to Animal Drawing with Alicia Dianne, and I'm excited to welcome you to my channel. If this is your first time, subscribe because I do lots of drawing on here. I'm here every week. You do figure drawing, you do wildlife drawing, you do character design. It's going to be a lot of fun. And coming soon, I'm going to be doing comics because I'm working on a comic right now, and I would love to share some of that process with you guys. So in the meantime, I'm going to open up my window and show you what I'm doing right now, which is bringing in some hyena reference photos. We're going to be doing hyenas. I was about to say photos again. We're going to be doing hyenas today, so I'm going to bring in some references. So this is a good one. Just some references just from Pinterest.com. I just typed in hyena. Specifically, I'm more looking for like the spotted hyena, but I'm open to whatever we might happen to find while we are here. So I'm just gonna drop these into Photoshop, and we're just going to use them as references for sketching today. Hopefully my microphone works this time. Oh my goodness, I had a couple of issues with my mic not working, so I really hope that it works this time. I don't want to run into that issue again or anymore at all, actually. So hopefully it'll all be good. And let's see actually how many photos we have today. I am looking for, let's see, we're going to do some 2-minute poses. So we're going to do 5 2-minute poses. And we're going to do some, I wanted to do, let's see, how many 5-minute poses can we do? So 6 5-minute poses. And that will give us 40 minutes of drawing time, which should be good for us to go today. So we need in total, how many? We need 11 references, so we need just a few more. So now I'm just looking for the 2-minute poses. So I'm actually just looking for some clear photos, nothing too like detailed, because we're not going to have time to do a lot of detailed sketching. We're just going to be doing pretty much getting the body down, getting a nice solid image. So, oh, that's a cute one. Hyenas are actually really cute, but they're just really really aggressive, and they have some really weird behavioral habits. So yeah, hyenas are interesting, but I think they're beautiful animals, honestly. I actually have more now than we need. So why did I do that? This one is really nice though. I like this one. So I'm going to drop him in. So now I'm going to pull back up to the what is it? My Photoshop window, so you guys can see what I'm doing in Photoshop. And my screen share is on, so you can see me. Hi. And I'm just going to go into Photoshop now. Okay, so now we have all of our reference photos, and I have 13 here. We only needed 11, but maybe I'll do a couple of extra 2-minute poses. Why not? We'll see if we have time to do that. And I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger. So let's see how that works. That works pretty good. And I'm gonna make these a little bit bigger. Just make them all a bit bigger, just so we can. Oops. There we go. And 200 will be fine. Even a little bit bigger. Just want to make them big enough so you guys can see them, and so that I'll be able to really get a good drawing of each of them. I'm going to pull them up to the right size. That should be. And let's see. Change the size of this one. See if 200 works. That looks about right. I'm just going to be moving them around. You can do the same thing anytime that you want to when you're working on your own and you want to just sketch from reference. Pinterest is awesome. There's a lot of great photos. I mean, because people select them by hand, usually the selection is a little bit better than what you get in Google, because Google just kind of gives you everything, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's still kind of good just to find the ones that have been hand-picked, because they're usually quite a bit nicer. And that one's kind of, this one's kind of small. I mean, you still run into like small images. You're still going to get some small images from time to time. I'm actually going to put this one last because that one is not. At least I'm going to be too hurt if we don't get to it. If we don't get to it, then. What is this? So I'm going to change it to 200%. See how that works. Going. I'm not going to. If we don't get to this one, then that's okay. And I'm going to change this one too. Let's see if 200 works. Keep moving. Sorry about my mouse is like super wiggly. It always it always acts weird. So I'm trying to just keep it sane and stop wiggling everywhere. Okay, so let's change the size of this one. 200%. Fine. And this one, I'm going to change the size of this one too. Probably not that big. Maybe 150 will work for this one. 160. And 70. I'm gonna make up my mind here, people. Okay, so I'm gonna start the timer now. So if you don't already, you can go ahead and grab a pencil, a sketchbook, whatever you want to use if you're going to be drawing along with me. You're welcome to just watch and check it out and see how I draw it. But if you would like to actually, draw as well and sketch along, and you are completely welcome to, which I think is awesome. And let me save this. I didn't save my project yet, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm gonna save it as I think this is number 6. Wrong, but I could be. I'll just save it as 6, and I'll put hyenas. Hyenas. Okay. And so let's go ahead and get the timer going. And we're gonna start with 2-minute poses, so it won't be too difficult for us. Get loose, get a little action going. And let me grab my. I have way too much stuff just everywhere. I really gotta organize my desk now. It's starting to get a little bit crazy, but get it together. Okay, so these are gonna be 2-minute poses, and let me make sure that you guys can see. Okay, all right, looks pretty good. And we can go ahead and start now. And so what I'm gonna do is actually should get his body first. It's always better, in my opinion, to do the body first, and we can kind of figure out where this goes. And just keep that sketch going. I actually didn't plan to do any YouTube drawing today, but I'm glad that I did. I was just like, you know what? I want to do some animal drawing. I didn't get to go to the zoo this week, and which is always a disappointment for me. I love going to the zoo to sketch. I think it's like one of the highlights of my week. So I didn't get to go to the zoo, but for the reason because I was at my son. He had a track and field event, and so that was really neat. He had it on Monday, which is typically my zoo day, but this day I was tracking and fielding, so it was really neat to just hang out with my boy. He is in the 8th grade. No, he's not. He's in the 7th grade. He's going to be in 8th grade this fall. I just can't believe how big he is. I can't believe how grown up he's getting. He's looking forward to going into 8th grade and stuff. It's like getting so big. He is big. I'm just glad that he still enjoys hanging out with me, even though he's about to be a teenager. About to be 13 in a few months. And I'm glad that he still enjoys my company. I still much. Alright, so that's 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes. And we're gonna go into our next one. We're gonna do another 2-minute pose. Let's start now. Actually, wasn't bad. Start. Actually, in the book that I wrote, which is turning into a graphic novel, there's like this scene where I have a hyena, or like this like it's actually in a woman's imagination, like that this lady turns into a hyena. But like I was thinking when I was doing like my thumbnails, like, okay, I haven't drawn a hyena in a while, like not for several months. I mean, I draw all different types of animals, but hyenas are not ones that I've ever seen in a zoo, I don't think. Maybe I have, but not lately. They're definitely not at Los Angeles Zoo. There's like some African wild dogs, which some people sometimes mistake for hyenas, but they're not. But I haven't drawn hyenas in a long time, so I'm like, hyenas would be awesome one because they're like, I don't know. Predator animals to me are always more interesting for whatever reason. I know they are intriguing to a lot of people, maybe just because they're like, the fact that we know that they're deadly makes them more interesting for whatever. Hyenas to me and predatory animals in general to me have always been pretty intriguing, especially the big ones. The big mammals, I'll say, because I'm not that interested in snakes and stuff. Birds, not really either. Even though I do really love ravens. Random fact of the day, like that's so random, but sometimes gotta be that. So I'm excited to say that we had a successful meetup this past Tuesday. Because I didn't do the Los Angeles Zoo this week, I got to try out hosting a different type of a meetup. So this week was Comics and Coffee, which we did over in Burbank, and that was really cool because I didn't resize this for different reasons. So let me resize it now. Because I had a good turnout, and I was surprised because of the time. I didn't know if people would really be able to show up just because of it was like right in the middle of the day. But I did do it at lunch hour, so hopefully I was like, okay, at least it's at lunch hour, maybe people will be able to show up, and people were. So I was really happy with that. I'm gonna start 2 minutes now. But it's just nice to be around other artists. I don't know if any of you watching, probably some of you watching at least, are working from home. You've already finished art school, or maybe you're a self-trained artist and you do the work from home. Maybe you're a freelancer, you're working on your own projects, whatever the case is. But especially for those of us who do, work from home, have our own projects and things like that, it's really important to connect with other artists from time to time, because it's just like you can't just be in your own brain all the time. I mean, you will. Steven Silver was talking, I don't remember one of his videos, he was saying something like, Well, if you're working from home, you're just like by yourself, even though you have like your partner or maybe your kids and stuff like that. Just not being around any other artists, you kind of start to feel out of touch, and it's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. So I definitely think that having some sort of outlet that allows you to connect with other artists is extremely helpful. Incredibly. So hopefully, if you're not already in a sketch, you can join one. Check out meetup.com. It's a great place. That's where I host my group, Cartoon Arts Center of Los Angeles. So if you are in the Los Angeles area, you can join. And if you're in another city or country or whatever, you can always see if there's something close by. I mean, it won't be the same one I'm hosting, but you can always like see if what's available in your community. Maybe there's something that you can sign up for that will allow you to connect with other artists. I'm sure there has to be like something around. And if not, you can always start one, like I did. That's always an option. Okay, so we have actually 1, 2, 3. We have 2 more 2-minute poses, and then we'll do the 5-minute poses. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so get back to my right layer, and let's go ahead and start. Really interesting, like body shapes they have. Super cool and like weird looking. They're like hunchbacks. It's really funny. I don't know what. They're like weird, like combinations. There's a lot of cultures in Africa, particularly. There's like so many different ones that look like they're like multiple different species put together. Like this is like a dog, cat, ferret, monkey. A hyena looks like a bunch of different things to me, anyway. And like, there's like, what did they call the thing? I can't remember the name. All of a sudden, gosh, it looks like a. I don't know. They have them at the zoo, and I draw them a lot too. What are they called? They look, I forget offhandedly, but there's these animals that look like a giraffe slash zebra, and they have this weird name too. But and they're these African animals, but gosh, for whatever reason, I can't remember what they're called right now at the moment. I bet you will come to me like right after this video. But there's so many like animals that look like they're like combinations. These really cool, like weird looking creatures. But this one is nice. This is actually a pretty good pose too. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on moving. This is gonna be our last 2-minute pose, and then we're gonna move to some 5-minute poses. So let's go ahead and start. And this looks like a really young, like adolescent here actually. Almost like a pony too. Like there's something about him that's kind of pony-like that I didn't even realize when I started like sketching out. It's for her body. I don't know. And like strange fact, like female hyenas have like male parts. It doesn't work, but it's just like weird. So I mean, you can't really tell the sex of a hyena just by looking under their skirt, so to say. because the females are dominant. I know that it sounds crazy because I knew all of these random animal facts, but I mean, they're really interesting once you start to learn about all of these different creatures and like who would think that they're female dominant and the females have no parts as well. And apparently, the myth is sort of like, hyenas are always stealing like lion food and they're just like these scavengers, but they're actually really, really good hunters. And lions are often stealing food from them, regardless of the fact they are sworn enemies. That is one thing that, no one really disagrees on. Some debate, like, whether it's the lion or the hyena that's really the scavenger. I don't know. They both kind of are, I guess. I think they're both opportunists, is what it probably really is. I think an opportunist is a little bit different than a scavenger. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some 5-minute poses. It looks like I didn't change the size in this one either. Let me go ahead and do that right now. I thought I changed the size on all of them, but I guess not. We're going to move it up to 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start now. As we're doing longer poses, I'll go ahead and start with a lighter color. Kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility. I'm going to pick and choose what I want to keep and what I don't when I'm actually ready to lay down the final line. A lot of people have difficulty like figuring out like dog type bodies compared to like horse type bodies, which are very, very different. I don't know if there's any tricks I have. The ratio is what's different. And you'll see like the ratio is much different for the leg height or the height or length. Horses and horse type animals have much longer legs than these type of dog type of animals. Even like cats have different body types as well. But I think people mostly that I've talked to kind of struggle with the difference between a horse type body and a dog type body, and really choosing purposefully which one they're putting down on their paper. So I would say definitely give yourself time to learn. Look at the skeletons. Definitely looking at the animal skeleton is going to help you to draw it immensely more than just trying to sketch them just like that. I mean, I used to want to be a veterinarian when I was a kid, and I was serious, and I used to look at all the skeletons. I used to like study like dog anatomy, and like I wanted to be a vet, and I wanted to have all of these wild pets. I still kind of do a little bit. And I'm still like incredibly interested though in the way that the animals work in their bodies and their bone structure and things like that. So I mean that is really something that stuck. The interest in animals didn't change. I mean, especially what was I gonna say? I think mostly now the difference is I realize that I'm more interested in drawing them and being around them than working on their bodies. But I am interested in learning how to draw their bodies better. That won't help me to care for an animal, but still. It's still, still an interest. Just in a different way. Never lost interest in learning about. It really is, I don't know, there's something just really cool about it. Especially if you, not necessarily a social person like me, who doesn't necessarily talk to a lot of people every single day, but animals are a little bit, I don't want to say easier to talk to, but they are. I know that sounds horrible. That sounds shameful, but whatever. Who cares? If you're still watching, if you've watched this long, then it must be somewhat interesting enough to listen to. Somewhat able to communicate with other people. Somewhat. And it is raining. Speaking of cats and dogs, it is raining cats and dogs. And sorry for the dad joke, but I don't know. It's been raining cats and dogs here in California. It's been raining like crazy just over the last couple of days. It really started like late Monday afternoon, and it just hasn't really stopped since then. It's just been like, raining nonstop since Monday, so I don't know what's really going on with that, but a little bit. I mean, it's good. We need rain here in California. We had a lot of fires like in the winter. So now that it's spring, hopefully these rains will help dispel any spring fires. I mean, I know summer's coming. It's like the opposite of Game of Thrones. You're worried about winter. We worried about summer. Gosh, hope there's no fires. So. And that is 5 minutes already. Wow, I didn't even get to call the baby. Didn't even get to call the baby. Oh, I wanted to anyway. I can just pencil them in really quick, I guess. Slightly. I did give us a couple of extra minutes for this sort of thing. The baby is really cute though, I mean, you gotta admit. Deadly, but cute nonetheless. And they actually like attack each other, like the baby hyenas, they will actually kill each other. They're that competitive. They will strangle each other out right there in their little puppy pen. I don't think that's what it's really called, but they have sort of like a makeshift nest. I don't want to call it a nest, but it's like some place where all the babies hang out. They call them like they're called like the same as like what bears are called, like cubs, like hyena cubs or whatever. I guess I think something like that. Anyway, they kill each other. Anyway, they kill each other. No sentence has ever been ended more. Okay, well, we'll do some hyenas for you. Let me do some more. A few more 5-minute poses to do. And let's see. So we're going to start now. I'm going to start off with a white again. This one is not a spotted hyena. This is like a striped hyena or something. I can tell by how woolly his hair is. The striped hyenas have a different type of fur, hair, whatever you call it. They all have that sort of hunchback neck. They look like a Wolverine almost, like a Wolverine, badger slash giant beaver. I don't know. They're just like a kind of a weird. They're like a raccoon almost, like like they're like probably in that family somehow. It's like the weasel family, or I don't know what it is. I don't want to give you like wrong information, but they're not really dogs. They look like dogs, but they're not. I mean, in the dog family, they're like these weird creatures of the night. Like they're weird. They have like ferret ears, right? Their ears are like ferretish. They're like big ferret badgers. Something like that. I don't know. They have scent glands too, I believe. Like all of those animals in that family have like gross scent glands, and actually ferrets. All ferrets sold in America, they have their supposed to have their scent glands removed, and they're all supposed to be fixed. So if you buy a ferret that has its scent glands and it still has its productivity ability, then you probably didn't get them from the right person, or you didn't get it in a legitimate way. I don't know. I wish I could have a wild animal. Not like a hyena though. I don't want an animal that's gonna strangle me in my sleep. I watched that show. I Was Bitten, or I think that's what it was called. Oh, I love that show. I wish they still did that show. It was a series that they did on Animal Planet called like Bitten or I Was Bitten or something like that. It was like a couple years ago, and I used to love that show. And somebody had a hyena on there. People had all kinds of things, like crazy. There's that other show that they had also on Animal Planet. It was called like what's it called? Like Fatal Attractions. Oh, that was so good. You guys seen that? Fatal Attractions. That was a really good show also. I don't know why that's so interesting to me as well, but it is. I think that's those type of shows are like super interesting to me. Like I'll watch that over drama any day. Any day of the week. Super, super interesting. Anyway, like I was saying, I would like to have a wild animal, but not like a crazy one. And somebody had like a freaking panther, like literally a black panther, and it like choked her out. It's so funny, but it's funny. It's like it did, it like choked her out, or like grabbed her by the back of her head, and like wouldn't let go. And like they had to call the police, and the police came and they had to shoot the poor thing. And I felt bad for her, and I felt bad for the leopard, but more bad for her, even though she was not, well, say less than smart for having a black panther as a pet. But you know, I can't be like that mad at her, because I would probably, like in my day when I was like, super animal crazy when I was a kid, I would have wanted a black panther too. So I can't blame her that much. I just feel it's just a sad situation overall. It's just sad. Somebody had a tiger, several tigers, and apparently she couldn't feed them, and she she got eaten by the tiger. This is a true story. I don't know what happened. Like she slipped near the fence because she had them in a fence. And if you've seen this episode, please like vouch for me. This was that Fatal Attraction show. I think all of the episodes of Fatal Attractions, like somebody died or was bitten horribly or something like that. And that's like is where they got the name of the show from. One of those ladies had like a gaboon viper, and you've never heard of it. A gaboon? Is it a gaboon? A gaboon? It's like named after this place in Africa, and that's so extremely vague. Some place in a huge continent. So I'm sorry for my vaguity, but it was called like a gaboon viper or whatever, and it's named after some place in Africa. I'm sorry for being so vague and ignorant, but I'm just trying to get to the point of my story. And this thing, like, apparently when these things bite you, like, you bleed from everything. You bleed from everywhere. So, like, you bit her, like, she had all kinds of different snakes. But this one snake is, like, one of the most, it's not the most deadly, but it's one of the most deadly, and apparently one of the most painful snake bites that you get, because it makes you bleed from everywhere. And she was bleeding out of her nose, out of her eyes, out of her ears. I'm sorry. This channel is not supposed to be gross, I promise. But we'll start a timer. I'm just saying, like, if you keep an exotic pet, you gotta be careful. And I guess hyenas just got me started because one of those guys had a hyena. And apparently and I know you guys saw the episode too because he was like a go-go dancer, like Andrew Canadian or something. He was like, he said he was being a go-go dancer to like, you know, save up some money to buy a hyena. And that's what he did. And well, if I had to like, I don't know, just like feel like, anybody I guess could do that. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't. If you were to buy, if you could, some horrible pet, what would it be? That's my question of the day. If you could buy a pet that was lethal in some way, to yourself or others, what would you choose? I mean, it's a legit question, I think. Pretty legit, I guess. I mean, it's not totally what's the word? Unrealistic because people do it. People like, you ever heard of Texas? Like people have. I'm sorry if you're from Texas. Don't worry. I was born in Texas. I didn't grow up there, but I was born there. But in Texas is like supposed to be like the most like I guess place where it's legal to own a dangerous animal. So if you could own one, what kind would it be? Just curious. Not to say to go out and buy it. I'm not advising that. Anyway, in any way, shape, or form. I'm just curious. Feel free to comment on my strange questions about wildlife. I don't know. I think it's a legitimate question. Why not? Just for fun. Don't go out and buy a crazy pet. Not advising that. All I have at home is a regular old house cat and a regular old tortoise. And that's it. If it was like legal, not just legal, it had to be more than legal. If it had to be like legal and also like if I had enough money to have someone tend to these animals, I would totally like have like a whole Michael Jackson um zoo home zoo. I think that's totally cool. I mean that's just me. I think that's pretty awesome if you can afford have a Neverland with a bunch of wild animals, and why not? As long as I'm not the one that has to like shovel, the poop and everything. Because I wouldn't want to do that every single day. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of poop. I don't want to shovel that. And then you have to like get in the pen and like worry about if they're gonna break out and the chimpanzees are gonna attack you. No, I don't want that. Chimpanzees are like the worst. I do not want one of those. I think they're still legal in a lot of places to own as a pet. That's not really wise. I mean, especially after that lady. Where was she in Long Island? Oh, I think she was in Connecticut. She was in the Northeast somewhere. She had the chimpanzee that attacked her friend. So scary. I just remember that 911 call. That was just so horrible. Oh my god. It's so scary. Anyway, let me change the subject. More scary animal. To the animal talk. What else is there to talk about though other than like scary animal talk? I don't know, I'm sure that's funny. I'm realizing like I need the head too big, but oh well. Maybe I go right there. That was quick. Oh, quick to me. Okay. A few errors, but oh well. Did my best. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 more 5-minute poses. I think it's fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start right now. And this is cute. This is a little puppy or kit, pup, whatever they're called. He's cute, I think. He or she is very adorable. He and or she. Why did I say and or? Like, it's not both. I can't believe that they have both in animals. Kingdom like that. Probably not very likely. You know what I meant. Oh, what a cute film. Yeah, I really would like to go horseback riding at some point. I don't know why. It's not really reminded. I would like to. Haven't been in so long. In such a long time. Okay, I'm gonna go over it with and keep sketching. It's cute. It's got really cute purple ears. Cute furry eye. I sound like Bob Ross. I'm not trying to, believe me. Happy little trees. Even though I think he's awesome. He's a great inspiration to so many artists. And I think that's like, I guess all you can ask to be as an artist is just an inspiration to somebody. I mean, I think that's what we're all kind of after. Trying to inspire or incite some type of inspiration to someone. Because we've been inspired by someone and we just want to pass it on. I think that's ultimately what we're all sort of actively achieving and in the process of achieving in our careers. The ability to inspire and incite inspiration. That's too deep. Ability to incite meaningful inspiration. And keep sort of the curve of his shadows going in the right direction. So much of drawing is like shading and figuring out where the light is, figuring out the light from the dark. I think so much of, I mean, that's something that I definitely am continuously working to improve on. Like, I know I'm not the only one, but like just figuring out. It makes it look like if you're like ever in a place where you're like you know how to draw and you like come a long way, but your stuff is still not looking that realistic as you want it to or as polished as you want it to. Probably it has to do with the light and the colors. I mean that's like a whole nother dimension of drawing that takes a lot of extra practice, which is something that I'm also working on myself. Just to get the depth, you know. Okay. So we're gonna do 2 more 5-minute poses. So this should be fun. I need to keep it, but it'll be fine. I'm sorry to tell you, but the truth is out there. Okay, let's start. No. Yeah, let's go ahead. Sorry for that. I was kind of like half into her in the face. I'm trying to just get the gist of his body down, get it down as quickly as possible, get the shape and the movement down as quickly as possible, and allow the rest of the time to add the details. A lot of movement in this pose. I want to get it down like really quick and get the energy of it down. That's what I'm trying to do first. It's like sniffing for death or something. I don't know what he's doing, sniffing for exactly, but it looks like he's really serious about that. He or she is really serious about that sniff. And he's listening intently as well. He or she is listening intently. This. And just like that, you get like the gist of the pose. And I like to get it down fast because it gets the energy. You want to put the energy in there right away because that's something that you can't fake, with lines and, shading. You gotta get the energy first, or else, the whole rest of the drawing is just not gonna have it. That's one thing. That's the thing about drawing quickly. Well, then is when you need to take your time and really pay attention to what's happening. Because then there's everything else. So, I mean, it's like there's so much, there's so many aspects to learn. So many. Much showing. Now I can make like little adjustments, make it a little bit smaller. I'm trying to keep the energy of everything now. Trying to keep the same, I guess, vibe going. Trying to keep your balance when you're drawing these guys. Because when you're balanced too, like when your balance is off in your drawing, it does show, unfortunately. So much to remember. I'll try to remember everything at once. That'll hurt. Fun and thoughtful. Not thoughtful as in like caring, but like thoughtful as in thought out. Like you want to use your mind. It does take a lot of like mental energy to draw, and it does feel like tiring sometimes because it does consume your. I won't say consume, so but it does take your energy. It does. It needs to, as you're thinking, you're problem solving as you're working. Want to be problem solving as you're working. You want to just get as much detail as you can in the one drawing, the time that you have. And there we go. Not bad for 5 minutes. And we're going to do one final drawing. And this one is going to be 5 minutes as well. He's a pretty one. Look at those eyes. Very beautiful animal. Very beautiful, I think. Okay, 5 minute pose, start. And this one actually looks so cool. Very like swagger. Definitely some swagger going on with this guy. But at the same time, like means business. Like we don't want to mess with this distillery. Will mess you up. It will mess you all the way up. Like you can just tell. He just looks like business, right? To me, that's what I see. I see someone that needs president who's and then from like a movie, Mr. Business, President Business, something like that. That's this guy. He's President Business. But at the same time, he looks kind of sweet, doesn't he? Like in the eyes. It's kind of sweet for me. Maybe that's why I don't need to mess with them. Like think that you're all nice and friendly. I think I can like I don't know. I think I could go up to any dog sometimes and just like be their friend automatically, but that's probably a problem. If they're big dogs, I don't really like little dogs because they yap too much. I don't like the yippy yap. I don't like getting attacked by little dogs. I can't really see where this back foot is, but I still want to know where it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go in with a smaller one and a darker pencil and try and get the rest of this figured out. A math problem. It's like you have to like just figure it out. To like work yourself through it. have weird ears. Something weird. I'm sorry that I'm like getting into my zone. I'm not talking as much because I'm like trying to make a fit sketch. I need my heart to stay on. No, if I'll finish it exactly on the 5-minute marker. It probably will take a little bit longer just because it's an awesome reference. And I want to get like the move down. That would be the best way that I can sort of describe it. Food. Rub it all down. And today's movie, if you hadn't heard yet, is Moana. I'm watching Moana again. No shame. You don't have any shame. I have watched that movie over and over again. You don't like it? Just kidding. I'm sure you don't care either way. I'm sure you have your movies, your go-to movies that you watch over and over too. We all do, right? And that is our timer. Did pretty good actually. Not bad at all. I'm going to add a little bit of color to this guy actually. Like that would be kind of nice. So you can hang around, or if you're done drawing and you gotta go, that's cool too. But I'm gonna add a little bit of coloration to this guy. I'm not gonna get too detailed, but it's kind of nice. This is our last drawing, so I think it's cool. I'm just using like an airbrush tool, Photoshop airbrush. So that color, really cool, nice colors. Lots of colors. This one particularly has really nice color. Really cool goldish hints. Reddish hues too. Reddish hues. In the eyes. Some of the darker colors too. Got some nice blues going on. Cool looking. hanging around for the process of coloring. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna, even just like a rough color, but I just want to get like some of the extra details down, you know? I still have like still have all of my sketch lines. Still like, now I'm gonna have, I don't know, I might want to keep those so we don't that I've highlighted. Now I'm just adding some of the white highlights. I changed the layer that actually has the original image just because I wanted to kind of take away a little bit of the color so I could see the darker lines that I had put here. I'm just gonna try and add to those. It looks kind of creepy, huh? It looks kind of eerie. That's kind of cool though. I like that. A little bit of eeriness is okay. And the highlights wherever I feel like can benefit. And add a little bit more shading on the side and under the belly. And that's kind of cool. I like that. And we did it all in like 10 minutes. Well, this sketch anyway. Not bad. Not bad at all. Add a little bit of. That's pretty cool to get all of that done in that short amount of time. And just like a little bit more details wherever I feel like I can benefit from it. More to the eyes. Of course, we could sit here for hours and really make a super realistic sketch, but that's not really what I'm after. Just want to get like a nice little happy little sketch. Happy little hyena sketch. I'm gonna make this a little bit lighter. And just little slight details. Wherever I see fit, do so. But I think that strengthens the sketch a whole lot, just adding just like some of the extra details here and there. And that's what it looks like when you actually stick with the drawing for a little while. You don't give up too quickly. You just can push it a little bit and a lot bit farther. And that's it, guys. That's as far as I'm gonna go with this guy today. I think he came out pretty good. He was fun to draw. All of these hyenas were fun to draw. So thank you for hanging out with me, drawing with me, and I will see you next time. We'll be back here tomorrow for Figure Friday. And if everything goes well, God willing. And I just want to thank you guys again for joining. So if you got any inspiration or any sort of insight or any sort of just fun or you just enjoyed watching this, go ahead and give it a like and give it a share and subscribe to my channel because why not? And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. In the meantime, dream big, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye.